Speaking of going into work, it was really nice of the Montreal Victoire to give everyone even though imagine if that was the later game.
I think I would have cried.
I like took a
Like
whole
5 and a
nap.
half hours
I took
is
a
insane.
3 hour nap in between.
Yeah. I like it's one of those ones where I'm like, I wish I was there, but I feel like if I was, I'd be like, oh my God, put me on the ice and end this thing. Like
No, literally, I'm like
I
someone
can't
tweeted
do
and was
it
like, at what
anymore.
point as a player when you're going into your fourth overtime, do you just have a mental breakdown?
Yeah, I was gonna say like at some point I'd just be like, I'd want to like forfeit or something. I'd be like, I don't want to do it anymore. But like,
If it was like a series, like an elimination game, I get it. But like
yeah.
you've played one game in the series.
Wait, but
Come
so
on.
somebody pointed out too, which I also kind of forgot about, but don't, I also like took a video of it on my Snapchat, which it reminded me. On May 11th last year, the Victoire was playing Boston and, or the Fleet now. They also went, it was a triple overtime game and they lost, but it was the same exact day a year later and they went this time to four overtimes. And I was like, I think we should ban Montreal from playing a playoff game on that day ever again. But I also think it's funny that they did that twice. And they were like, I want to reset the record for the longest PWHL game. I'm going to do it. It was crazy.
I literally I like passed out in the middle of it. Because apparently hiking makes you really tired.
Yes.
So I like completely passed out. I want to say at like 4:30.
Oh, yeah. We weren't even done in regulation yet.
I know. And I was like, that'll be fine. And then I woke up, first off, still completely bright out. So I was like, oh, it's like 5:30. No, 7 p.m. The game is still happening.
Yep.
And the reason I knew that is because I went on Twitter and I saw your tweet and you were like, oh my God.
It reminded me of the only one I have like real recollection of going that long was the Lightning Blue Jackets five overtime game in the bubble.
Yeah.
I remember so vividly starting that game went. I literally felt like I watched it for a whole day. But I remember putting it on and I was in school and I was like doing RA training that weekend or something or whatever it was. And I literally would leave my dorm and come back and like every hour or whatever, and the game would still be like I was just like, when do I come back to my room and the game is not on? Like when is it happening? It felt like that because it felt like forever.
Well, that's how I felt with the
But it
Dallas
was
game
entertaining.
yesterday too, because it felt like it took a long time.
Yeah.
I just,
I love it. I love it for the again, and I don't know. Four overtimes is just like it's excessive, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh my God. It's in the same of like you kind of can't believe it's going that long, and
well,
you're
you've
just
seen,
like,
I don't know if it's a tweet or a Tumblr post, but it's like that, like text post variation of social
I
media.
survived whatever.
No,
Oh,
where it's like, LOL, when we get to like sixth overtime, they drop a second puck.
yes.
Um,
Oh my God. Someone just sent me that where it's like, oh, the refs decide to go home, and there's like three pucks or whatever, and then like
yeah.
all the rules don't apply.
I'm like, at what point
It would be
do
funny.
we like I'm like, at what point in a game do we go,
How does
no?
one play a game with two pucks, though? I feel like I would be so overstimulated.
You'd
How do
probably
you keep
have
track of
both
anything?
goalies being attacked at the same time.
But then it's like 3 on 3, not even. It's like
There's a different
two
strategy in there. Do
defenders
you want to
against
just go five
one.
on one goalie?
That's actually, I don't even know how that would work. But like, it kind of, yeah, I don't know. We do love it. It was just like, I
But like
literally was
at what
waiting.
point do you kind of change the rules? Because like 5 on 5 overtime until someone scores at some point is going to end in like
Forever.
10
Yeah.
overtimes, and we're all going to be like, what are you
Don't say that. Was it 10 overtime? That's like,
doing? Yeah.
it is possible.
It is.
But yeah, I was also like,
Game 7 of the
everybody,
Toronto Florida series goes to
everybody was like tweeting about Toronto or, well, yes, Toronto, but Scepter's Fleet,
Frost.
not Fleet, Frost.
Frost. Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh my God, this is happening. And I'm like, no offense to either of those teams. But who was watching that game
No
when
one.
this one is just continuously? I did end up watching that game, but only after it was Montreal was over because I was like, I need to see when it ends.
I
Like
didn't watch it at all. I checked the score and I went, oh, okay,
uh,
interesting. And then I
goaltending
checked
was
the score again
optional.
at the end and I went, huh, okay,
Goaltending was
interesting.
optional. Yeah, they I got the second half of that game by the time Montreal ended, and I was just like, what's happening? But also, I pointed out since the Scepters started playing in the PWHL playoffs, every day that they've always played the same day as the Leafs, and they won the first time that they in their game one they won. Leafs won game two. Since then, they've both played the same day and they've both lost. So whatever's happening in or around Toronto, once again,
Some
getting
Toronto
both of their hockey
voodoo.
teams.
Yeah.
No, it's I was like, can they how about you move one of them so they're not in the same day? Like one of them has to win. Like
I
please move
also
the
find it
games.
so interesting that they had the same, like they played on the same day, both in Toronto, and like
Yeah,
the P-Dubs still drew like a really good crowd. And I'm like, all right, well, to
which we love.
everyone
I also
who
think like what said it wouldn't happen.
just like, it's like the PWHL doesn't mean anything. Yeah, okay, screw
Yeah,
you. Like obviously
I know.
people are still going. It's hockey. No one cares. It's Canada, it's hockey,
That's what I
everyone's
mean.
going.
They are gonna just they just go for because it's hockey and it's
Like
playoff hockey at
America's a
that.
completely different demographic than
Hmm.
Canada is, just like point blank period. It's a completely different thing when you get to hockey. And like it's just like hockey is the culture in Canada. So like everyone's going to go to a hockey. Like their AHL games get sold out too.
Yeah.
I have
You know,
not
also
seen an AHL game. Well, to be fair,
sold
near
out.
us, they're both horrible. Um, but even like
Yeah.
watching like the playoff games, like the Admirals and stuff, and I'm like, there's not a lot of people there.
It's a very different.
And it's in Wisconsin. You'd feel like people would go.
Yeah. I also just think it's also very different. That's like their sport. I don't want to say they have less sports to watch, but it's very much like their primary sport.
No, yeah, it's like our
And
fourth
here it's
best sport.
not. Yeah. That's like I feel like still being generous because sometimes people are just like not aware. And I'm like,
No, because there are definitely
what
people
are
who
you
would
doing?
rather watch like NASCAR than
Yeah,
go watch
unfortunately.
hockey.
It's just like, yeah, I that is so true. But like when you think about it, that's but if you say that somebody lives in Canada, they're like, what?
I
How would
will
you not
say,
watch the game over that?
my brother came up to me yesterday and goes, I think I'm starting to like hockey more. And I went,
We
okay,
love it.
finally. Like he wanted like an award or something. And I was like, okay, great.
Okay,
And he's like, but
it's
only the
enough.
good games. And I was like, they're all good games. He goes, no, but not like the low scoring ones like soccer. And it's like, no, Billy, but you need to understand that those are the
Those
good
are good.
ones.
Yeah, they're actually playing
Those
good
are like the
hockey.
technically good hockey
I
games.
feel like though, if yeah, like you want to see a lot of goals scored because you're just like you want to hear the goal horn and all the stuff that comes with it. But yeah, technically, like
Like when I'm
the
in
good games are
person
your
and there's a low
2-1.
scoring game,
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
like that game that you went to against Columbus, where it
Oh,
was overtime, 0-0 to overtime, and
this
then it was a
I have
shootout.
never in my life. Yeah, my mom and I. This is in January. My mom and I. It was like her gift, her Christmas gift. She wanted to go to Rangers games. So I was like, perfect. And the only one that I had off for was when they were playing the Blue Jackets, and I was like, perfect, whatever, it works out. Um, it was tied all the way through regulation, all the way through overtime, and I think the shootout went to like 7 or it was some like insane round shootout before they actually won. And my mom the whole time was like, "I just want to hear the goal song, the goal horn once." And then when they score in the shootout, they don't even play it. So she was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Well, technically, it's a really good game." But like sitting here for 3 and whatever hours, it wasn't actually the greatest. But I can say it happened twice this year, and Columbus was like it happened to Columbus twice. But I was like, I haven't been to a game where that's happened before, so I can say I got like a new
You had
variation
a
off the
lot
list.
of checks on your
Random ones?
list this
I
year.
did.
No,
I
like hat
know.
tricks and
Yeah, I know. Like things I've never. Yeah, then I ended up seeing 2 hat tricks. But yes, it was yes.
I also think it's funny that like you can keep track of that stuff because I've literally been going to hockey games since I was like 3 or 2 something. And so like There's no the like barometer for things that
recollection.
I've seen have been checked off so long ago.
Yeah. I remember, I feel like it's always more recent stuff, but yeah, I love that though. Like, it just happened.
Well, I think also like I don't know. I was scrolling Facebook yesterday because it was Mother's Day and I was trying to find a picture to post my mom and I didn't. Um, Spent the whole day with her. She knows I love her. She does not
There you
need an
go. That's
Instagram
true.
post. For an app that she doesn't even use. Like it's fine. Um, and so I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a picture with my dad and it was like 2013. We were at Nassau Coliseum for an Islanders game. And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
that I know that wasn't my first Islanders game, but like, can we have earlier photo evidence of me? Like
Like,
the
actually there, yeah.
earliest photo evidence of me at a hockey games is at a Yale game.
Which
And
would
I
make
was
sense.
probably like 4,
Okay.
maybe.
I
But I'm
love
like,
that.
there's no like, no one decided to keep track of like when my first games were like at MSG or
See,
at Island. Like it's so for
yeah,
me,
like
it's
your
like,
actual first one. I
like I
know
don't
my
know for those
first,
teams at least.
because my first one ever, I was 10. So that was I still have the ticket and everything. It's like actually my favorite thing ever. It's like a printed,
Oh,
it was like the Rangers, like, it's going to sound so old. It was like their 85th anniversary or something. And it said on the ticket and everything. Um, but that was my first one ever. And then
it was
I
not
didn't,
their 85th. We're
yes,
going
it
into.
was in 2010. If they're turning 100,
That's
it says,
oh, okay.
yeah. I was like, I'm not good at math, but I think I can figure that one out.
I like forgot how old both of us were for a second, and I was like,
Yeah.
that feels like a really long time ago.
No, that's why I said it's gonna make me feel old.
Oh,
That's why I didn't want to say it. You just solidified exactly why I didn't want to say that.
okay. So to be fair, I forgot how to do
Anyway,
math for a second,
I
and
don't
I
know.
was
I
like,
usually
that was
suck at math.
25 years ago. No, it was not.
No, it was not.
Um,
That'd be even worse.
it is. Well, that's why I was really confused. I was like, Brianna, you weren't alive.
No, no, I was no at that point. No. But I didn't go to another one. Ironically, so I went to that one when I was 10. That was my first ever NHL game, and then the next one I went to, and I'm dead serious. I started watching hockey, like, I don't want to say seriously, but like my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
And then my best friend in high school, I think she got tickets for her birthday. So the next game I went to was a Devils game in 2017 against the Blackhawks. And it was sick. It was fun, but I like refused even then. I like when I wore like red and black and the whole thing. But like when I think of back, I'm like, I that roster is crazy when I look back on that team because I'm like, oh my God, like I had no idea what was going on. But it was a 7 year gap, whatever it was. And it went from so that was my first game at Prudential,
I don't think I
but it
went
was random.
to a Rangers game until I was in high school
Really?
because, well, yeah, because my dad and my
Also
grandpa
expensive.
took me, and my grandpa lived in Connecticut.
Oh, so you had to coordinate.
So we never went to like an NHL game with him. And
Aw,
then my dad is an Islanders fan.
yeah.
So he would not take me to a
So
Rangers
why
game.
would you go? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Um, I think my first game at MSG was probably like hockey, like rivalry on ice, the Yale Harvard game in like
Oh yeah.
2012, 2013, 2014. Um,
Yeah, but do you count that?
but like a Rangers game probably didn't happen
Yeah,
until I was like in high school.
that makes sense. My first one after that, so I went to that Devils game at the end of
So
December,
weird.
and then it was like the 2017-18 season, and then literally like 3 days or 4 days later, I was at the Winter Classic in City Field. So I literally was just I had went it was a whole 180. I was like, this is fine. It's cool. And that was my first like not my first Rangers game, but that was my
I
first one where I was like
understand
conscious. And I was like,
the
oh,
jokes your mom makes now about how
yes.
you're
Listen, my best friend invited me and I was like, I can't say no.
no, I know, but for context, your mom, like every time we open our mouths now, is like,
Yes.
so are you planning a trip to Texas and Las Vegas for your races? And
I've always
like,
been like this.
I'm
I
like,
hate
I
to, okay,
understand it now because you went to one F1 race and now.
Yeah, it's but like I literally get it from her because it happens to me with like the same like the whole idea of in case anybody who listens to the podcast, I have not mentioned this. I saw Harry Styles 5 times in the span of a month. Um,
I didn't know that either.
unplanned. Yeah. So when
And I
my
haven't seen
best
him
friend and
once. Can you share with the rest of us?
so it was unplanned. Well, not unplanned, but like we had bought tickets before COVID happened, and then because the way schedules, the way the shows were rescheduled, had like all of the MSG shows in 1 month. And then my other best friend from college had a ticket, and her boyfriend didn't want to go in Philly, so I went to that one in the end of September. So in the span of a month, I went to 5 Harry Styles shows. I don't regret it at all. But my mom was like, "You're basically living at MSG," and I was like, "You can't be mad at me because you did the same thing." And then you wonder why I'm like this.
Concert
So,
tickets
also
were
my
cheaper
money,
when our parents were younger.
yes. I was like, also I could be spending money on much worse things. So let's be glad we're doing
Listen,
this.
I get it because I drove 4 hours in a severe flood. Like half of Manhattan was underwater. Um,
That is okay.
do you remember that day?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is like two
Oh
years
my
ago. Half
God.
of Manhattan was underwater.
What?
Drove 4 hours to Philly in a severe flood warning.
Oh my God,
Went to go
Mackenzie.
see Hosier.
Okay, worth it.
Drove home at 2 o'clock in the morning. Was blasting like hotel room service to get home and chugging a monster.
It's so real.
Dropped my cousin off. And now I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was like, I think I took the next day off. I did something else.
Okay.
And then on like the Sunday or whatever, went to Madison Square Garden at like 6 o'clock in the morning and got box office tickets to go see him again.
See?
And then 2 days later, went to a Boy
I mean,
Genius concert.
exactly. This is me.
Yeah. No, listen, I have the same issue. It just like
I
the
also
fact that
realized if I
you
can
went
do
from
it.
like my first hockey game ever to
Yeah,
Winter
well,
Classic is insane. Also, like
okay,
the scheduling worked out for you because that's really
yes.
hard to do, but like that's insane.
I also like my the only reason I went when I was 10 was because my uncle, who's a Rangers fan, was it was like a kids' day game. And so like I would not have gone until I was like it would have been a while because we went to that game and I was like 10-year-old me's like, okay, this is so sick. They scored like 8 goals or something, and I was like, okay, I love it. And then I didn't like physically pick up watching the sport until I was eighth grade freshman because I was getting sick of football because the Giants suck. And I was like, okay, we're time to watch hockey. And at that point, my best friend who invited me to the Devils game was a Devils fan. She was trying to, and I'm like, girl, I love and appreciate it, but not right now. It's not happening.
No.
So, but yeah, I went to that first game, like my first game after my first one, and that was it. It was like, I was like, okay, this is sick. And then the Winter Classic, and then after that, it was just like a downward, not downward, but yeah.
I
It quickly became many more games a year than just the one.
I'm talking to someone on a dating app and just so everyone like it's not we're not it's fine. Um because I know that one of my friends is gonna listen to this and be like, "You're talking to someone you didn't tell me."
Like, no, no.
He asked because we were talking about the Mets and he's like, "How many games do you go to a year?" And I was like, "Baseball specifically? Not that many."
All of the sports. Like,
Well, because I was like, I don't want to come across like a psychopath. So are we
yeah,
just talking
that's
about
so real.
baseball? Because like two or three. Um,
That's also real.
I could not tell you how many hockey games I've been to in my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many games I've been to in the last year. I've lost count. And
But
the
it's a
thing
good
that's the
thing.
problem, I'm not a season ticket holder to any of these teams.
No, you think I always like think I would be, but then I'm like,
Well, that's they always ask, like on like the sales calls, they're like, how many games do you go to a year? And I'm like, huh,
yeah,
20,
but I also
30, but
yeah, but
like
my thing is like I
across
do it
different
on
teams.
yeah, and I also like can't I do it around my schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm like I can't be like, yeah, I'll just like randomly decide to go to a game today and I'm like, I have work, sorry. Like I have to take off to go to those games or
Well,
have off.
for me, it was more like I'm a very like I'm a last minute ticket buyer. So like there was a game last year where I I wanted a jacket for that conference that we were going to.
Oh yeah. Did you buy a
And
jacket and then go to the game?
so I went to MSG and I like kind of forgot there was a game happening that night. So I went and I bought the
Okay.
jacket. And then I like once I got to MSG, like realized that there was a game happening and
Like, oh wait,
I was like, interesting. And it was
maybe I
like
should go in there.
end of the season, did not have tickets, but my aunt and my uncle were in the building. And I was like, oh, I really should go see them
Yeah,
because
that's
they
cool. Yeah.
moved to Arizona. So I should go see them.
See, validating it. It always
Waited,
works.
but I waited for puck drop. I went up to the box office and I got a ticket for $100
That's a win.
in the 100s.
There you go. See?
Um, in a
But yeah,
suite,
you can't
technically.
you
So
can't plan that though. Like if you were a season ticket holder, which I love that for people, but I'm also like,
I love it and I love the benefits that I get for other people who have season tickets, but like for
yeah,
me, it's just I like
it's a
going to
lot.
different teams and then
Yeah.
I work for a team, we cover another team. It's not and like my biggest reason for not getting a package last year was because I didn't know if I was going to be working like full time in sports or not at that point because I was
Yeah.
interviewing. And I was like, I don't want to get season
That's what I mean. Like
tickets and then
it's
be like stuck.
crazy commitment. Yeah. But yeah,
They're
that's
like, you
so
could
funny.
take
I'm gonna tell my
4-day
mom that you said
plan.
that.
I'm like, okay. What?
Yeah. I said I'm gonna tell my mom that you said that. That
That
you
you're
get why
crazy?
she always says that to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
She again, I always say she started it and she goes with it. So
Valid.
it's fine.
Welcome
Worth
back
it.
to Read Between the Blues.
That was a good we were rolling though. We were rolling.
Yeah, I'm Mackenzie. That's Bree.
Hello.
Do we want to talk about the NHL?
Has there been anything as good? We're still in the second round for anybody who is not aware.
Yeah.
Um, one is tied. Florida, Toronto's now tied.
Yeah.
2-2. I think everybody else has a lead. Stars are leading. Are we surprised? No.
I forgot that the
Um,
other two series were happening. So I was like, there's
Canes
only
are
two
leading.
happening.
No, I wish. Canes are leading and Edmonton's leading 2-1. Those are both today games. Games today. But yeah. Those bottom two I have no interest in. So sorry to those teams. I am more locked in on Toronto, Florida. I almost said Leafs, but that is the same team I was talking about. And Stars, Winnipeg
Yeah, I
have
think
been the
that would
better.
be
To me, they've
most
been the
of the
better of the
people.
two. Like
Um,
Carolina, Washington has been so boring.
I think it's been
I'm
more boring
sorry.
than I wanted it. Like I wanted it to be more
Yes.
like the Capitals Montreal, where it was like a little feisty.
Yeah, it has not been. And like the Caps are scoring no goals, which
Yeah.
is not happening. It's not helping. But yeah, so we're all at the game 4 mark in the round twos. They've been okay. They've two of them have been better than I thought. Two of them have been average,
I think
I guess.
that round one just had so much. Like there were so many storylines in round one, and it
There's
was
a
so
lot going
fun to
on.
watch. And yeah, and now it's like, oh, okay. It's just hockey, which is great, but like it's just hockey.
Yeah. Also, I think when you get down, when you go from what is it, 8 teams on both sides to
16
just
to 8.
four. Yeah, like eight on. Yeah, but I'm saying like
Yeah,
on
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
in one conference, like you lose half of the teams you're watching, and yeah, it kind of. I don't want to say settles, but you're kind of like, okay, this is who we have. That's that.
I think also Toronto, Florida has felt very much like a sway game.
Yeah.
Like one game is very heavily in favor of one, and then the next game, like It just
It
felt
goes
like it
back
was
and
like
forth.
it was Toronto heavy, Florida heavy, and it doesn't feel like either of them really actually deserves to win any of their games because it's like, why haven't you been showing up?
Yeah. Agreed.
And then like with Winnipeg, Dallas, it's the Mikko Rantanen show, which good for him. Kind of wish he
And
hadn't signed a contract extension because
Connor
he probably
Hellebuck.
somehow could have gotten more.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
but like
Like,
the
actually, I'm gonna wait for the Caps to go up.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, like he's pulling insane numbers, and everyone else in the Stars is like, howdy ho,
It's
I'm
li
here. What? Like
I love you the howdy. You went with the howdy part. You know what? You stayed
howdy.
on theme.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we always. I'm like joking now. It's just like he is the entire team. That's like it. Besides like Otter, who has like actually make stops so you don't
And
score.
and he's
That's like
doing
it.
well, I have to say. But like
Yeah.
and obviously Hellebuck is standing up a little bit more in this series. Um, but like I like you gotta like spread the love. You can't have a shutout in one game and then lose two. Like
No.
it's the playoffs. You have to spread the love, baby. You need to let in one goal in that other one
We.
and not let in five the next
hmm
one.
We were talking about how drastic of a change it is from him as a goalie, but then like Jets as a team, like when they play at home to on the road, like they're 5-1 at home in the postseason this year, and they are winless on the road, which is just like it's crazy. Almost like you won the President's Trophy, you had to have won games on the road. You're capable of it. Please start doing that. Like
I will
I don't know
say I forgot where they were playing yesterday.
where. Oh, okay.
So I'm like half asleep and listening to the game, and they're like, and scores, and I just heard, "Aw," and then I went, "Huh, Dallas must have scored," because I forgot where we were in the game,
Zero. Yeah.
and then I was like, then they said the name again, and I was like, "Ah," and they
Never
scored,
mind.
and then I went back to
Yeah.
bed.
Yep. That sounds
It's also funny because
realistic.
my brothers could not care less about the playoffs right now. Also because like the Knicks are in the playoffs, and so
Yeah.
out of sports that we don't watch for 500, Alex, they're gonna take basketball for right now. Um, which like I get it, like the energy around the Knicks is like very fun
hmm
to be a part of right now, kind of. Um, and so they're like, "Did you see the Knicks won? Did you see the Knicks lost?"
Like, no.
And I'm like, "Dude, no, I'm watching like five hockey games a day. I don't have time for this."
Sorry. I did not see that happen.
I'm like, and the Liberty starts soon. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just been so funny that they will not watch the games and they don't actually care. But when it's on,
They'll watch it.
not that they'll watch it, but like I had it on mute the other day and I was cooking and one of them comes in and he goes, "The oil team scored. Aren't you so happy?"
Oil team.
And I was like, "No, I
Stop.
really don't care." And he was like, "So you don't care if Vegas scores? Vegas should score a goal." And then Vegas scored a goal. And he was like, "I'm magical." I'm like, "That's
I
phenomenal.
just love the
Can you
oil
do that for a
team.
team that you root for?" Like,
Yeah, literally. Like, hey.
I'm like, "Bessie, the Jets have missed the playoffs for like 14 years. I think we should get on that one first."
Yeah. Start
I
doing it
want to
over
know
there.
who's going to break the playoff drought first,
Is that where the
Jets
Sabres?
or the Sabres?
The fact they've both missed them for 14 years
Well,
is
because they keep
actually
trading
insane.
off for the record. So, like, because like the Jets will break the
Yeah,
record
but
in the fall and then the
yeah,
Sabres will break
because
it.
it's like annoying because the football season ends before hockey does. So like even
Yeah.
in the year wise, it's the same, but not time wise, I guess. Um, but I think if there's a year where they both like imagine they both break it at the same time, I feel like it'd be like something's wrong. Like if that happens, we need to be a little concerned.
The way everything in this world
It's
is going, we're going to have a
it's a
Sabres
sign.
and
It'd
Jets
be a
in the.
sign. Yeah, I can't
That's a
even
recession indicator, actually.
literally I that's like insane to me. Hello? Also, I
Um,
feel like we have to mention we haven't talked about this since it happened. I don't think. The Islanders won the first overall draft pick.
yeah, yeah,
Utah
yeah.
now has an official name. They are the Utah Mammoth, which we
New.
kind of first saw it coming because they
Yeah.
got Yeti rejected, but they are officially the Utah Mammoth, which I am a fan of. I feel people are not, but out of the options, I felt like it was the best. I also, if they kept Hockey Club, I would have lost my mind.
I've actually seen a lot of people that are upset that they didn't keep Hockey
I
Club because it's
know,
so like original. And I'm like, but it's
but like
not.
to me,
Every
it
team
sounds
is technically called a
unofficial.
hockey club.
Yeah, but like it reminds me of the PW when it was just like your city and like PWHL New York because
Yeah.
like you didn't have a name. Like just if it sounds like unfinished to me.
And again, if they
And
had
I was
like
like,
won the cup this year, I would have said keep it all the way.
yeah, because like then
But
it's in the history part. But yeah, officially the Utah Mammoth.
I just petition for when we have expansion teams, naming them the right way the first time.
Instead of rushing it or not rushing it.
Yeah, like
I think they should get that was a very odd. Okay, so but Utah Tech. This is the whole thing. They're not technically
I
an
know
expansion
I know
team,
that
so
they're not
like
technically an expansion team, but my
they
issue
should
is
probably get the pass because like Seattle and Vegas they named correctly.
yeah, but my
So
issue
like they had
is
more time.
they knew that this Arizona thing was like this has been happening
Yeah, of
for
course
so long.
they should have foreseen it happening way ahead of time,
And I
and
feel
then they
like it
just didn't
wouldn't have taken that long to,
pick a name or the branding.
yeah. Like I
Yeah,
appreciate that like they let the fans vote and yada yada,
I know I
but
do like that.
it's also like it's frustrating then to like why are we they're keeping the Utah Hockey Club jersey as their away
I
jersey
know the Utah one, which I don't like.
because now
I
they're
don't know
like,
if
oh
that's
well, we
me.
don't want fans to feel bad that they bought a jersey and can't wear it. It's like that's not how that works.
Also,
Um,
no, but
People
also
still
hold
wear
on.
Hartford jerseys. Like, come on.
Yeah,
And
but I'm also
Nordiques
saying like
jerseys.
every team, even if you're like an original six, they like people wear jerseys with different versions of those logos on them
Yeah.
all the time. And like I feel like that's not true.
But then I'm like, okay, so like
Or like
next
bring
season
back
you're
the
gonna put a mammoth on the white one and then what, use the Utah as
yeah.
your like, come on.
No, I also just hate that they're not the same. Like the home and away should have the same logo on it. Like it's weird to me that it's different because nobody else has a different like every other team has the same jersey, it's just away or home
Yeah.
unless it's like when the Canucks wear the black skate isn't their primary home jersey, but they wear it at home. That's not
Yeah, but
their
it's
away
the
jersey.
third jersey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't the Canes switch theirs, but that's now their primary. So like I don't know. I want them to match, and it annoys me that they don't match. But the home one with the mammoth on it does look sick.
Agreed. And I like the U in like
The
I do
tusk.
like the branding. Like everyone that's like, it's sloppy. I'm like, no, I feel like it has.
Who has said that?
I've seen some people who are like, it's
I
boring. I'm like,
can't.
okay, whatever.
I have seen things where
You're the same people that are like, the Rangers ones are so cool. And I'm like, it's just their name.
it's literally just letters. Genuinely.
Which
How
like
is
I
that
love
one
it. It's
special?
classic. But
It's just letters.
it's just
It's
letters,
just
guys.
letters in a diagonal. Like that's wild. But yeah, that's the only exciting things that I feel like we've missed since that happened. But yeah,
Well, now the conversation kind of turns to like prospects
for Utah
for the Islanders.
Islanders. Okay, I was like, where are we going? Yes.
And so I feel like I know who I want them to take, and I've had the same opinion since like October.
Okay, that's good.
Um,
I
like
don't want to know
wherever
if
the
I.
Islanders ended up in the draft, I was like, I want them to take so and so. And now getting like flamed on, like I'm not getting flamed on Twitter, other people are.
This is what I hate about the draft. Hot take. Like
This
you
is a
have
year where the first
very long
overall pick
time.
is so not
It can go
cemented.
anywhere. Yeah.
And I think that looking at Islanders fans and telling them that they are stupid
Mm-hmm.
because they want James Higgins on their team
I know.
is ridiculous. You're telling me you're going to give me a kid from 5 minutes down the road from me? I'm exaggerating, by the way.
No,
Um,
but
but
that's
like
how it's like.
you're giving me a local kid who wants to be here,
Mm-hmm.
who wants to play for the Islanders. Like,
Who wants to play? It's like one of those things they're putting out like those little signs to be like, please come play here.
well, that's you have like people that are like, oh, this poor kid who gets you're it's like, oh my God, first overall draft pick. I have to go to Long Island.
No. I feel like
He's from here. Let him stay here. Also, it would be better
ironically,
for him to have like more family
yeah,
support while being in
not
the
having to
NHL.
go.
And also, like, New York's a rough market to be in. So if you are here all alone,
Yeah.
and also, I don't know that New York, like Long Island fans are going to take well to Misa and Schaefer.
That's true.
I think that there's like a higher expectation that comes with those kids. Um, and
Yeah.
I don't remember who was talking about it because there was so much discourse on Twitter between like the last week of it.
That's what I mean.
Higgins is playing against college kids.
Correct.
And for those of you who don't know, not every like the college kids that play hockey and the college kids that play sports are not typically 18 to 21 or 24
No.
or 22. Sorry, 18 to 22. They're typically older. They typically go to juniors for a few years, especially in the American
Mm-hmm.
system, and then they go up to college. And so you're like 20 when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
And so when you are playing against these other kids and you're 18 years
You already
old
have the leg up. Yeah.
and he's crushing it. Whereas like Misa and literally no discredit to Misa and Schaefer, but they are playing against kids their age.
Yeah.
Also in a Canadian system, which is a different
Mm-hmm.
like built. Higgins is
I
still a
know what you
great
mean.
player, and the fact that people are like, "Oh, he was the number one pick like overall, like overwhelmingly in December," and they're like, "Well, he fell off."
I also think this is one of those things that we talk about all the time when you like whatever you go into thinking whoever is the first your top three, you have literally no idea how they're actually going to pan out in the NHL. Like
Look at
your first
Seneca
overall,
last year.
yeah.
Shocking. Literally
Yeah.
everyone that I know was like, "What the hell is going on right now?"
So it's stuff like that where I'm like, you can judge the player based off of their career up until this point, but like you have no idea if somebody that's taken my favorite example is Wyatt Johnston of the Stars. He was like the 57th. It was some like obscure number overall, but when you think of him now, it's like he could arguably be better than like the top 5 in his draft class. But nobody like you have literally no idea the way these kids are going to pan out
This
in
is
the
also why
league.
I hate giving so much pressure to the number one draft pick
Yes.
because we've talked about how
Because
like
it's
Bedard is not adjusting
as well. Yeah, like
as well as he probably could be. And like even like Celebrini isn't like it's just
the Breach
why
isn't
are we
having
putting
fun.
so much pressure on these
Yeah,
children?
I know.
Children. They are children.
They are. But I also think like yeah, going first overall is like the achievement, I guess. But like just
Yeah.
because you are drafted
Absolutely.
high doesn't mean
It does not
it
mean you're
doesn't
gonna your
it
draft
doesn't
order
mean
does not
anything.
correlate like causation
Yes.
and correlation. It does not
Yeah.
correlate to how well you're going to perform in the league.
I think the idea that now we've gotten into the mode of being like so many of these superstar players, especially now, have been and are former first overall picks, which is like, okay, cool, love that. But it doesn't mean every single one of them is going to be your generational franchise, I'm changing the game kind of player.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that every single year. So, and I wish more people realize that. Like, it's just,
But I also want to know where people get off like talking to people who literally work in hockey media and being like,
No, this is the guy
Hagens
they're
is
gonna
a
take
bad pick. Do you
because they
watch
think they
college
know.
hockey?
They think they know what they know,
No, and that's like, but that's what I'm like, you don't watch.
and 95% of the time they only start paying attention to like their team, like until now when like you know where the team is picking. And you're like you basically miss everything that you'd have to watch and know about said players.
Well, especially for Hagens, his season's over.
Yeah. So
But
I
like,
don't know.
I just don't understand how you look at people whose literal job it is to watch hockey and
And be
analyze
like,
it.
I know the prospects better than you.
Like literally
I know.
tell me what team that Misa plays for. Go ahead.
I'm open. Oh, floor's open.
Tell me
Yeah,
what
it's
team
just
Hagens plays for.
that one's probably easy enough that most people would. Well, I actually don't want to put that past. No.
They'd go, "Oh, Boston." Which one?
Like, okay. Yeah. Where? Which one are we?
But like
It's
it's the
wild.
same thing when people talk about like prospects like AHL stuff and I'm like, "Okay, what's our affiliate?"
Yeah. I love when people bring it up and I'm like, can you name all of them like AHL, ECHL? Because they're
That was
all
I was talking to I had never seen these jerseys before. So I was like, "What are those jerseys?" And they go, "The Adirondack Thunder. It's our East." I'm like, "No, no. I know what."
I just asked what the logo was.
I'm like, "Listen, I've just it's like a weird third jersey that I've never seen before." I'm like,
Yeah.
I have a friend who plays, not a friend. I have someone I know who plays on the Thunder. So I was like, "I know what the team is."
Just
Also,
the
I
jersey
work
was,
for
yeah.
the Devils. I know what our affiliates
I
are.
feel like most people don't, yeah, but I feel like most people are not aware.
Maybe, but also I always think it's so funny when people see someone like in a uniform for a team and go, "Let me explain." I don't need you to explain it to me.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess there's like variations of how invested people are
No, absolutely, because there are
and
definitely
like what they
times where
know.
I talk to people like when I'm at Devils games and I'll start chit-chatting with a fan and then like I go too far and they're like, "I don't know who you're talking about."
Like, okay, let me rewind.
I'm like, "Okay, sorry. Ethan Edwards is not on your radar." Got it. Um, but like as someone that consumes that much hockey, like it is.
Yeah, but
Anyways, I think that they should take Hagens. I feel like it's a good fit, like play wise, even if he doesn't have like the best stats, which
yeah,
that's not what you're looking for in a pick for your team. You're not
no.
looking for the best stat, which is why they took Seneca last year. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for the best fit for your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I
I just
also
think
when
that
I said to
Hagens
my
would be
mom,
happy here, and I don't think that he would leave.
I think it's fun to be like, it comes up all the time when people are like, especially living in Jersey. I don't know if you get it as much because you're on Long Island. Maybe you do. But the whole like, oh, the Devils were the last team to win a cup, blah blah blah, whatever, and like the three that are here. And I pointed out to my mom, I was like, I don't know if that's like our argument anymore because now all three teams have had a first overall pick in the last 10 years. Devils have had two. So I don't know if we can argue about who won the cup last when all three of us have had a first overall pick now. So like,
No, it's an
I
argument that I have
think,
with my dad all the time, where he's like, "How many cups do you have?" And I'm like, "Four."
yeah.
And he's like, "Well, they don't count. They were spread out over 100 years." I'm like, "No, you asked how many cups we had. You
Hold
did not.
on.
You
Hold
didn't
on a
ask how
second.
many in the 2000s we have, which the answer for you was also
Also, no.
zero."
Also, they're like won what? Islanders have three, right? And
No, they have four
four, but they were all yeah, but they were
in a
all
row.
in the same, and they have not been back
Li- li-
since. So
like,
let's like,
well,
I
that's
just
like
was like,
my brothers do the same thing with like the Bills. They're like, "Well, how many Super Bowls do the Bills have?" And I was like, "Zero."
and that's fine right now.
And I'm like, "And when
We'll
have
get
you
there.
in your life seen the Jets go to the playoffs?" And they're like, "None." They're like, "But history." I'm like, "But history
Exactly.
doesn't matter when you're talking
No.
about the current state of a hockey team
Yes. It's just I like thought
or
it was
like a
funny
sports
because
team. Like the
everybody
past does not
argues.
matter."
Yeah, everybody always argues about the cups, and I'm like, all three of them in this area have now
They
won a first
suck.
overall draft pick. That is not good for all of them. all of them have had at least one in the last 10 years. Like, that's not it. That does
I just
not
will
tell you.
never understand why history is the argument because like at that
No.
rate, like the Montreal Canadian team, like that their fans should be like high off their rocker all the
Yeah.
time because but like your team winning 7 years ago has literally nothing to do with the formation of the team now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My
So
favorite, we
why
also
does it
pointed
matter?
out the other day, like, we always talk about Toronto's taking forever. They haven't gone back to a cup final, whatever. Um, but I was doing something and somebody pointed out that like, if Toronto wins this series and they go on to the conference final, it'll be the first time, like, if they make it to the Stanley Cup final, it'll be the first time in their franchise they've won 3 playoff rounds because last time they made it to a cup final, they only had to win two. So they've never won 3 playoff rounds because they've never made it to a Stanley Cup final that required more than 2 round wins.
Well,
And I was
technically
like,
they've
that's
won
actually
three
insane.
because they won a cup in one of those.
Yeah, but like it's not three to get to the it's not a four
No,
round.
no, I know. I'm just saying
Yeah.
they have
So they've
technically
never
won
won
three.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, they never won three on their way to the cup. Which I was like, that's insane. And I know you've won a lot of cups as a team, but like not in enough time to have won. Like that's crazy. How are we talking about that? So yeah, I just as soon as the Islanders got it, I was like, that's kind of funny. Now all three of us have had at least one first overall pick in the last 10 years. And that is not a sign that you're winning hockey games if you're
No,
getting
but
the first overall pick.
I just
But
also could you imagine being, and this is why I say that we should get rid of tanking, because could you imagine
oh
being a
yeah.
Bruins fan?
They I feel like they have to get their therapy paid for by the team because like
Yeah. Sue that team for emotional damages or
for
something
real,
because
it's
whoa.
terrible. Terrible.
And then like
I'm
they're
so sorry
keeping
for them.
Sweeney. Like
It's just mind-boggling to me.
I don't get it.
It's no, it's so bad. I feel like also if the Panthers were to win the cup this year and having Marchand on that team, I feel like would just send the entire city like you
That
would
is
never hear
the
from Boston again.
that is the only reason I am okay with Panthers winning
Florida
the
winning.
cup is because I want to see Marchand lifted again
That
before
would
he
make sense, yeah.
retires.
But he's
Um,
still does he have 1 year left in his contract? Why am I not aware? Hold. Because I was like, I think he's retiring after this, is he?
no, but I don't think that he has a contract.
That's what I thought. I'm gonna look it up right now. Because
Like there
I
haven't been retirement rumors, but I think that the assumption was that he was going to re-sign with Boston.
oh yeah, he's in year 8 of 8.
Yeah.
UFA after this year.
I
Okay,
was gonna
so
say I was pretty sure he was a UFA,
that's
but I
what I
didn't
thought,
have
but
to
I
double
like was
back.
like, I haven't heard anybody say he's retiring, but
No,
that
no, no,
also
and
makes sense.
I don't think the assumption was that he is retiring. I think the assumption is that he
Yeah,
was
going to go try and win a
re-signing.
cup. Yeah,
Because what was he
makes
looking for?
sense.
6 years
I
in
think so.
Boston? So he's not retiring.
No.
He just doesn't have a contract for next season.
Yes. As of right now.
Which also, if you're not aware of Brad Marchand, he's a great hockey player and he should be on
Yeah.
your radar. Um,
I feel like how I don't know how you
Different
aren't aware.
markets.
Yeah, but I feel like he's one of the ones that just like is known,
I think he's
whether
also
for good or bad
categorized
reasons.
as like a rat
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like even
and
if it's not
not
a
as like
good
a
reason,
good
you know who
hockey
he is.
player,
Yeah.
which I feel like him making Team Canada should have like thwarted all of that conversation because like
And it did for a while.
yeah, but like
But yeah,
he's very much known as like an annoyance and like he's not known for like those big
his actual
game
play.
moments, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
So,
you mean.
um,
Our condolences to all the Bruin fans though, because that's
yeah.
rough. It's really rough.
All right. Big picture looking at where we are. It is
Yeah.
Monday, May 12th, and Luke Hughes did not wish his mother a happy Mother's
He
Day on
did.
Instagram.
Yes, he did.
Where?
I saw the picture last night. It was on his Instagram story. It was actually really cute. It was a picture of like little him and Ellen. And he didn't even the other two cut him out. A
I
Devils cut
saw,
him out
yeah.
of his own picture, which I was like, that's rude. Your own team cut you out. but
This is
like
how
Luke
I find out that
has
I
his
don't
own
follow
picture.
Luke Hughes. And that is why I didn't see it.
I saw it last night. I was like 4 minutes. It was like, you know, those things where it's like, oh, they think I'm a fan. Because I went to go check to see if he posted it, and it was like 4 minutes ago, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I'm here too early. But yeah, could you imagine? Oh my God, he was
Never
late to the
mind.
game. He was late to the game,
Yeah, I was like, he
but he
definitely
didn't do
posted way later than
it.
his brothers did.
He was like, oh wait, I should probably do that. Hold on.
All right, big picture.
That's out of the way. Ken says some more face, knowing Luke posted for Mother's
I do,
Day.
yeah. I mean, it's Ellen Hughes. You
I
have to
know. You
respect her.
have to.
So I was very personally offended on her behalf.
No, well, now you don't have to be.
Also, I was gonna say Jack is so unfortunate to have a birthday so close to Mother's Day, then I realized that it doesn't affect him because he's not a mom.
Yeah, and it also like yeah, and I guess it shifts and changes, but yeah,
Well,
true.
like
I guess you're right.
there's like an
It's like
early May birthday thing where it's like your birthday's like always like near
yeah,
it. But it doesn't affect him
it
because
doesn't
he would
affect
not be a
you.
mother. Arguably.
I love how your brain was like, hold on a second. That actually is not relevant.
It's Jack's birthday week, everybody. He's turning
Yay.
24. The only reason I know that is because we're like a week apart.
I love that.
And that's the only reason I care about it.
That's how you know.
Like, I think I know two hockey players' birthdays, and it's that, like, that's all I care about. I do not actually care about these people.
I love when the teams post them and I'm like, oh yeah,
Did you see the
there it is.
Rangers posted for Nicolas Aube-Kubel, and
Yeah,
everyone was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Who's Nicolas?"
I know how I remind people. I told my mom when we got him, I was like, remember who dropped the cup when we were watching the Avs win? And she was like, yeah, I remember that. And I was like, that's him. She was like, no way. I was like, the fact I have to tell her that's who it is for her to remind. But I was like, yeah. Remember when he was skating over the team picture and dropped the cup? I was like, that's that's
But
him.
like, to be fair, if you're like just a Rangers
He
fan,
does hop up and down a lot too.
he hops up and down. Also, he's not like a recognizable face.
No,
And the
I
Rangers
didn't see
have done
people
this thing
say
where they
that.
just post the first name for the birthdays.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, who is this man? He's not
Hello.
on our team.
I can't. No, it's so funny. Oh
All
my
right.
God.
Because the PWHL only has four teams in the playoffs, we are technically in the semifinals. Montreal and Ottawa are
Oh yeah.
tied one game apiece.
True.
Minnesota leads Toronto one game, so they are 2-1 currently.
Mm-hmm. So if
When
Minnesota wins next game,
they are on
they're
to
in
the Walter Cup finals once
for the
again.
second straight year.
And then looking at the NHL picture, um, Dallas leads Winnipeg 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto and Florida are tied 2-2. Oilers lead Vegas 2-1, and the Canes lead the Caps 2-1.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just gonna do like a weekly update on where we think that we stand because it's hard to
On like cup final or who's winning?
like who's
Like
winning
each
each
series.
series. Yeah. I want to say the Scepters come back and win it, but like I don't know that I have faith in them. I think that they like tie it, go to 2-2 and go to game 5.
Yeah. I'm
But
still saying Montreal. I just yeah, like Toronto's in the brink of elimination now, and this kind of happened to them last year. So, but I'd like to think they've learned from that, or they like now know what it's like to be in that position, to be like, hey, I can try and make a comeback. Although it would be insane to see another game 5, so I would
yeah,
take that. But and does it make me look stupid to not pick Minnesota? Because they've clearly been the better team. I don't know what's happening to Toronto's goaltending either. It's like crazy.
I feel like it's gonna be Minnesota, Montreal, and then I hope that Montreal kicks
Yeah,
Minnesota's butt.
as they should.
Um, but
That's yeah. I love how we say that, and our bingo cards literally like Walter Cup stays in the US. We're
Doesn't
like, the
mean
US
it
team's gonna
does not
lose.
mean that's what we want. Like the same thing with like
I
the
know, I know.
Fanatics jersey mistake. It doesn't mean that's what we want that to
No, no,
happen.
but I'm saying it's so funny that we were like, yeah. And then we're like, actually, never mind. But I do, if I had to pick, Montreal is your, what I would like to,
Yeah.
who I'd like to see win it. So,
Um, I still maintain that the Stars are going to take the series.
yeah.
I still maintain that I want Toronto to take the series.
I want, this might be, I feel like, I want to say hot take. I would, I think at this stage, like, kill for a Stars Leafs Stanley Cup final.
That's
Because I
what
feel like it's the best matchup we could possibly get.
my second chance is Stars Leafs.
Yeah. Like, I feel like
So
that'd be such a good, well, I don't know who I'd want to win, but I feel like it'd
I
be a
know who I
good,
want to win in that one.
I know, but I feel like, I don't know. That'd be a good one in my head. I'm like, this, give us that, please.
Joseph Wall versus Jake Ottinger.
Yeah,
Fun.
it would be. Yeah, and
I
then
think Edmonton's somehow gonna squeak it out because they won't die.
someone take them away.
I
Like,
do not understand how they keep doing it, but they keep doing it. So
me either. I still think it'll, and I want to say it'll probably still be Canes,
I think
unless Washington somehow
I said
like
Caps, right?
I did too, but they're not
But I think
like they have
they're
no
not
idea.
showing up. I think the Canes are
No,
probably gonna
it looks
take
like
it.
they're just being like suffocated, which is I guess what the Canes do to you, which sounds terrible, but
No,
like
it
they don't
is.
let you do anything.
If and like I'm just so aware of how the Canes play playoff hockey because I've been subjected to
It's
watch it for the
crazy.
last like what,
Yeah,
5 years.
literally
Um,
every.
they suffocate you in the neutral zone.
hmm
And so you have no chance to go on the attack.
No, they like
And then when
they
they get into the
control the whole
offensive
game.
zone, they have such a good like pass system that even if they're not producing, they are exhausting you.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to watch and then watch them completely crumble.
Oh yeah.
Like
When you get to a
they have
certain
such
point,
on paper, one of the best playoff, like,
built teams.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fascinating. And they just lose.
hmm That's what I'm saying. Like every time, I'm like, how many times do you continue to do that before you're like, something has to change? Because at some point, it
Well, I think they
has to.
also exhaust themselves. And so
Yeah.
you have the issue of when you get to like the end of round two, can you close out? And then if you get there, how do you survive in round three?
Yeah. And maintain the level of play and
I am okay with them going to the cup final, if only because a Carolina Texas final would be absolute chaos,
yeah. Oh my
especially
God, could
for
you
all those people who
imagine?
are like, hockey doesn't belong in the South. And then you
Yeah,
have
for
two
real.
Southern teams. That'd be really funny.
hmm
Canada might implode though. You
Yeah.
got North Carolina and Texas. Yikes.
Yeah. Mm,
Um, also, because we've been slacking on it, and that's partially my fault because I feel like I'm our AHL correspondent.
oh.
Um,
I've been keeping I know that they set final I know
we have
Abbotsford
our
won the other
division
day.
finals.
Yeah, so I know like everything was set.
So it's gonna be the Hershey Bears versus
Oh, and that one
the
too.
Charlotte Checkers,
Woo.
the Laval Rocket versus the Rochester Americans.
That's why they haven't changed the logo in Montreal. I was in there, I'm like, I'm so mad they didn't change the logo for the Victoire. The only team that didn't get it changed, and I forgot the Rocket are still in it, so they can't. Dang it!
Yeah, it's like
Come
they
on!
could. It's so much work.
I know, but I
Um,
forgot that there was still another team also playing there, and I was like, why didn't they do it? Anyway,
and then it's gonna be
side
the
note.
Milwaukee Admirals versus the Texas Stars. And
Mm-hmm.
then the Colorado Eagles versus the Abbotsford Canucks, which also, so real quick, if you don't know, Hershey Bears are to the Capitals,
Yeah, they won the last two.
the Charlotte Checkers
Canes.
are the Canes, yeah.
The
Laval
third
Rocket
place.
is Montreal.
Montreal.
The Rochester Americans,
Buffalo.
it is Buffalo? Okay.
The Sabres, yeah.
Which is so weird because the
The
Americans are like a good team.
yeah. And they have so many of their prospects there and they never I don't get it. Anyway.
Milwaukee Admirals or Nashville, Texas Stars are obviously Dallas. Colorado is
Yeah.
obviously Colorado, and the Canucks are obviously the Canucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Why are the Western
my
ones so like similar to their actual teams?
my personal favorite final there would be Milwaukee Hershey, because I will be happy with either outcome.
Mm,
And also I can probably go see Ufko play if that's the case, because
true.
he'll be coming to Pennsylvania, or they will be coming to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. I want to meet Moose.
Hmm.
So if you guys don't know, Ryan Ufko has a puppy. His name is Moose. He is so
We
cute.
love dogs.
I love him, and I am so excited to meet him.
I
And the most
love that.
concerning thing I have ever seen is I commented on his girlfriend's TikTok and was like, "When are you guys coming? Like, when am I meeting Moose?"
Hmm.
And the amount of people that liked the comment, I'm like, "No, no, you
I
guys are
hate
not
when that
meeting Moose."
happens.
Like, I
Yeah.
have
Like,
entered
get out of
like
my
the
family business.
no, like I've entered like the parasocial wag thing where people are now like liking my
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, no, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
sorry.
no, no, no.
Get out of here. Not
I
right
don't
now.
know this team. I only know like three people. I'm okay with that.
See ya.
And I don't
Yeah.
like it. I'm like, you're not also meeting this dog. It's just me.
I hate when people like people like I don't do it as often, but when comments like blow up on videos, I'm like, why are you liking it?
It's always so
Like,
weird to me.
what?
Like there was a video a while ago about how like straight women take off their bra when they get home and lesbian women take off their rings when they get home. Or it said queer people take off their rings when they get home.
Yeah.
And I understand that bisexuality falls under the queer umbrella. However, I thought it would be funny to say bi women doing both. That
Okay.
comment
Did
still
it pop
gets
off?
likes, and that was from like 5 years ago.
See?
And I'm like, can you guys stop,
Okay. Get out of my
please?
family business. Like, don't be looking at me.
But like that's one thing, but like people being like, "Oh my God, I also want to meet Moose." And I'm like,
Yeah, no.
"No, you don't
Sorry.
know these people. You can't meet
Get
their dog."
out. Yeah. Mm-mm.
But like I also wonder if people are like, "This is just some crazy person who's like, I want to meet their dog." Like, no,
Yeah, they probably
it's
were
like,
just
no,
like,
it's okay.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, because his girlfriend recently went public, I think, so that she could like post more about the puppy.
Oh,
I'm like, why did you do that? I liked when this is a
yeah.
family business. What is going on?
Just like make a puppy profile.
No, they have one on
Like,
Instagram.
oh,
He's literally so cute. I love him.
see?
He's
Shut up.
he's so cute. I miss my puppies.
I was gonna say I don't want to like make it worse. Like, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had a dream the other night that we like saw them and they were huge.
No.
So I woke up kind of emotional.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
It's okay. Um, do you have a preference for the Calder Cup final? Which also it's so weird that it's also called the Calder.
I
Um,
know.
but do you have a
There's probably a
preference?
reason. I don't know if I know the reason. Um, no, I don't really I think it'd be cool to see Hershey win three in a row. Although I feel like that also would be bad at the same time because then like I guess you could call it a dynasty in the same sense of like they've won three in a row. I feel like if you win three in a row, it's like you're solidifying whatever. Um, but no, I'm I couldn't tell you who hasn't made it in a while in the AHL. I'm not up on it that much as I used to be or as I should be.
Well, do
Um,
you are you like
but,
automatically rooting for Colorado because that's your like NHL team?
I guess, but like I don't. keep tabs on them like as
Guys,
much as
Brianna's admitting she doesn't watch the AHL.
I
It's okay.
do, but like
It's hard to
it's
watch.
very
I'm
much
not
yeah.
even.
I
It's
also like I don't know. I know Taylor McCarr made his debut the other day because someone tweeted about it, and I was like, okay, love that. Um, but I am aware of it and I watch it, but it's very much, I feel like I forget about it when it comes to this part where I'm like, the NHL playoffs are on, and now we have PWHL, and I'm trying to like, now we have Worlds that are on, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
here's like 5 million things, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and there's
It's
NHL
it's
playoffs.
so funny because we like I think in
This isn't not the
April.
way a normal person consumes sports,
No, but I
but
think in April we're both like, oh, hockey's winding down soon. And now it's like
like,
2 games a day for the NHL,
hmm
at least a game a day for the PW. God knows how many
yeah,
AHL games that we're not even watching. All of the
true.
world's things that are happening. And then we're
hmm
also like prospects and
It's a lot.
changes and transactions and
Yeah,
like there's so much happening and I'm like, I thought we were getting a break soon.
I guess maybe I don't know. I have to. Maybe I
Well,
will.
because
I
we
mean, I
were
guess they're
worried
like
there
still in the
wasn't going to be
playoffs, so
enough
it'd be
to,
like, go Colorado.
yeah, we were worried there wasn't going to be like enough to talk about, like come this time for
No,
the
then like
podcast because
all
we're
of it
not
started
doing daily
happening.
game recaps. Yeah.
Yeah, but like all of it started happening at once, and I was like, uh, slow down a little bit. Like, hello.
I know. I was gonna plan a trip to Hershey to go see them because they were doing Hershey versus the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, my little Pennsylvania heart who doesn't live there, but like, whatever. I was like, oh, I feel like I should go. No, I did not go. I did not have
It's okay.
time.
I
And
know
like, by the
it's a
time that
lot.
I was like, I'll plan a trip, this series is over. I
Yeah, literally.
was like, all right, damn, okay.
I'll keep more time. I'll be like, hey guys.
We should take a day off of work, go to Hershey Park, and also go to a game. It should be what we do.
True. Amen.
All right, lovely.
Good planet.
Um, any last thoughts on because this
No.
I love how we're like, it'll be a short episode today. No.
We had a lot to, I feel like there's a lot that happened though that we had to be like,
And I don't even know
hey,
that we covered any of it properly. We just yapped the
I
whole
think we did.
time.
I think we covered, I think we did a good job.
Okay.
No. Um, I'm literally gonna go watch a Worlds game after this, so
No, you said you were gonna go take a nap.
I am, but I want to watch this game. So I might like, I don't know. I'll have time. I also have to get my nails
Okay.
done, so like, there's a lot going on,
Fair.
but
I need to take my
it'll
nails
be fine.
off, and
See,
I'm
now
like
I'm like, I like spoke
devastated.
to you though, and I'm like, energy. I'm
Well,
awake now,
yeah,
fully
because
awake.
every time, every day that I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to exist today. And then I like do something and I'm like, oh, this is fine, I guess.
Exactly. And I'm like, I already made it this far. I did one thing. I just should keep
Yeah,
doing
but you
things.
have to work until like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's a very
That's it.
different.
Yeah, but like, it's only if when's the latest game today? I don't even know. 9:30 probably.
Yeah.
9:30. So, like 2. It's fine. I'll get home by like 2, which is okay. That might be generous. It's okay.
5 overtimes.
Don't don't say it to me because then I really can't leave. I literally have to wait there until it's over.
That sucks.
I said the other night, I was like, I think it should be a rule that only the East Coast games can go into overtime because even if they go into multiples, they're still over before the West Coast games are.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with that. Like as someone who's in the East Coast. Sorry. But
The funniest things I saw yesterday were that people were saying that the Montreal Ottawa game was going to go longer than the Toronto Minnesota game, which would have been really
could you
funny if
have
that happened.
imagined? Oh my God, that would have been insane. But no
Mustard
final
packets,
thoughts.
man. You're gonna need a lot of them.
That yeah.
All right.
Cover all the hockey.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Happy late birthday to both of us, by the
Yeah.
way. Maybe next year we'll do like an
I feel like we didn't
episode.
mention that at all.
Yeah, we did
It's
not.
like, oh yeah. Hey. Just kidding.
We're both getting old.
We made it. I know. Not a fan.
Terrible.
Not a
No.
fan. No, no.
All right. So happy birthday to
But
both of us. We'll see you next week.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
with even more hockey. That's all what's going
Or less
on.
hockey.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we'll see you next week.
Au
Bye.
revoir.
See ya.